Well, hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. And boy, am I excited to be here back in Fallbrook. And in just a moment, you're going to meet Joe Rossi and his lovely wife, who you probably are not going to meet, but she's standing right over here and she's fabulous, who started Rossi Ranch Avocados, which is absolutely awesome. And bringing me here is Nancy Holland is back, and Talmatija is there. Thank you for joining me. Cynthia from Full House Fallbrook made this introduction for us, and we're really excited to get started. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Farmer Joe. So Farmer Joe Rossi, come on in and have a seat.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, Emily Jordan. Nice to see you. Nancy Holland, Roseanne Heidemann. All the regulars are tuning in and starting to find us. So behind us here is the Avocado Grove. And you've got quite the story to tell, which you haven't,
so.
he hasn't quite actually told me the full story, but let's get started. And so you had a family of 2 children, and you and your wife decided to move from where to buy this avocado farm?
Well, we lived in Fallbrook.
Oh, you did?
Down the road, but in town.
Okay.
And
where are you from originally?
Originally from Los Angeles, but my parents moved to Fallbrook 74. So I went to junior high and school here in Fallbrook.
Okay.
So I grew up in Fallbrook and did construction for most of my life. But I wanted to get out in the country. Fallbrook wasn't country enough for me back then. So we looked and looked for many years, and we finally found this house. It's actually next door that we moved in 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And
had you ever worked, I know you said you were in construction.
Correct.
But had you ever actually worked the land before? Like, did you know what you were getting into as far as ranching and everything goes?
Absolutely not. No, so absolutely not. I had a green thumb. I loved, my vegetable garden, and I had a little tiny plot in a track home that I would grow all kinds of things. But never did I know I was going to be an avocado farmer. And so, you live in Fallbrook, you eat avocados all the time, but never did I thought I'd be growing them.
Is this the primary, and before you answer that, I'm going to have you answer this question, but a lot of people are finding us and tuning in. I just want to say hello to them because they love to know that I see them. So Sherry Barassa is here, Teresa Anderson. We have I have my own grove. You have avocados. I have my own grove of people who tune in regularly every single day. So hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. This is such an inspiring story, and I'm so happy to be here in Fallbrook. So, well, I can't remember what I was going to ask you now when I interrupt like that to say hello.
Something about growing avocados?
Yeah, something about that.
Well, at the time when we moved up here 25 years ago, other than eating them, I didn't know much about avocados.
Right.
But when we moved up here, we had 600 trees that I had to start taking care of immediately.
Did you immediately say to yourself, oh my gosh, hey Emily, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into?
I loved it. I was excited for it. I wanted to be a country boy, be out in the country, so that was a good thing. I was ready for the challenge.
Did you hire someone that come
There's
in and
a story about that.
Tell me that. What happened?
Being in construction and working for my own company, many mornings I'd be getting up at 5 o'clock, actually leaving at 5 o'clock. And in the summertime, you're always watering, but I'd have to switch. After 12 hours of water, I switched to another section, but 7 days a week. So you'd always be watering. Well, I had a problem where I was out with a flashlight looking through my grove. I'd turn the water on and go check to make sure there was no problems. Coyotes eating the pipes.
Oh, gosh.
Clogged sprinklers. You got to make sure everything's working. So
coyotes eat your pipes?
Well, they gnaw on it, trying to get to the water, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And the sprinklers.
Maybe they were teething.
Or they were teething, possibly.
What do I know?
I'm not a coyote expert, but they would cause problems. So my 7-year-old son, also named Joe, I trained him how, at an early age, 7 years of age, to walk the grove and check for problems. So he knew how to turn the water on.
During the day?
Yeah, he would turn it on at 7, and then we would switch again at 7 at night. So he would get up early, And, you know, now parents would probably be horrified if they heard that, because my little boy, this tall,
Yeah.
was walking around our grove all by himself.
But not at night, during the day. In the morning?
Well,
some in
it'd
the
still be
morning?
light out at night, and
Right.
sometimes I would help them, you know, if we did it
Because
together.
the coyotes can come after a 7-year-old child.
I suppose we didn't think about that
You
back
didn't?
then.
Oh my God, my heart is pounding on that one. Okay.
So he'd have a little pin, extra sprinklers, and we'd
Uh-huh.
unclog them. And that son, Joe, is a grove manager now in Fallbrook, running multiple groves
Oh, really?
in Fallbrook
There you
and
go.
Monzo. So he's actually
Yeah.
got his own business now doing that.
Well, aside from avocados, he also has do you call it a bee farm? What do you call it?
I suppose you could call it that. We have bees here for about 10 months out of the year.
Right. And we're going to talk about that. But let me preface this, because I just learned something that I didn't know, which I find absolutely fascinating, and I want to tell you because I think you'll find it as fascinating as I do. So this is the citrus honey, correct?
Yes, that's
Citrus.
Yes, yep,
Says
that's
citrus. And this is avocado. You can see it's darker. You can see that this is lighter. Okay, so avocado, citrus, and then show them the other one, which
This
is
is
a
sage.
different. That's sage. So this is what I thought that meant. I thought that meant that they took avocado meat and blended it into the honey, and that they took citrus and blended it into this honey. But I was dead wrong. So let me explain, or let Joe, Farmer Joe here, explain what that means. So let's first talk about the bees. The bees are here 10 months a year.
Correct.
So everybody goes, okay, well, what happens the other 2 months of the year?
Well, they're in Central California right now helping with the almond farmers.
Okay, that doesn't make sense to anybody.
Okay.
Let me tell you why that doesn't make sense.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense because you think to yourself, which is what I said, I didn't know that bees migrated between here and Central California, and how do they know to return to the exact same farms every year?
Well, they got a good driver.
They have a good driver,
right,
so explain that. What
So
happens?
they come in a truck and load up. We'll have 200 hives here on the ranch in 4 different locations.
200 hives. I just walked where they would have been.
Right. So they just left about a month ago, actually.
So somebody comes and loads up 500 hives, puts them in a
200 hives.
200. I mean, listen, is it
It's
any
a lot.
worse with 300
It's a
more?
lot.
I'm not sure. I think it's all pretty much the same. And puts them all onto a truck and actually drives them to an almond farm.
In Central California.
Because, as you said, the almond farmers need the help. And so the help is that the bees...
More bees
come and help to pollinate so that they have a great harvest.
a greater chance with more pollination happening within the tree.
Right.
So they literally bring millions of hives up there to...
Oh, my gosh.
Not me, but I have 200 up there, small little portion. They even come from out of state to come to California to help with not only the almonds and the nuts, but there's other fruit trees that need that also, but not as much as the almond trees.
So when you're barbecuing up here, do you ever worry that some of those bees are going to find their way here, or do they just really stay down into the grove and do their work?
They're all over. So Denny, my wife, she doesn't like bee season, which is
10 months a year.
Well, it's actually. So let me preface that 10 months. 10 months they're here, but it's only about a 2 or 3 month window for the avocados. The sage is a little bit longer because it's growing all through the hills up here in Rainbow. And then citrus is a pretty long window too, and that's from about now till, I'm thinking April, if I remember right. But then the avocados is more predominantly in April through June, and then it's pretty much over. So there's bees all over the place looking for those particular trees because they're not going to go to an avocado tree if there's no flowers.
Do they make it though into like the food area when you're preparing, or do they
water? They'll
they
get.
come for water?
There's different bees that have different jobs.
Right.
So you got a bee that's just going out for pollen. You got bees that actually go look for water.
Oh, and where do they take that water? Into the hive?
Back to the hive.
So let's talk about, I really wish you could see this. This is the avocado honey. and to which I assumed they mixed avocado meat into the honey, but come to find out, even though this has a green hue, if you were up close to it, you could really see it. And what this really means is that there are bees that only go to the avocado flowers and come back to the hive and produce this darker honey, which is strictly from the avocado flower.
Correct.
And they do not cross-pollinate with those bees that go strictly to the citrus, which you can see the difference in color. And they bring, so you've basically got hives of avocado and hives of citrus, and the bees...
They can be right next to each other.
But they do not cross-pollinate.
I imagine there might be a little bit, but predominantly when you pull out the one hive's honey, it'll be all dark like that. And the next one right next over, it will be that lighter color.
And you don't know what's in that hive until you pull it out, I'm
Correct.
guessing, right?
Right.
I just would guess that. So isn't that fascinating that the bees do not cross over? They know, and so this does not contain avocado meat, nor does this contain citrus meat. This is just citrus pollen and avocado pollen. Isn't that, I mean,
and they have distinct flavors too.
Yes, I tasted them. Well, I tasted it when we were at Cynthia's, when we visited Full House Fallbrook, and which you have to rent that Airbnb, all of you. It's so gorgeous, as you know. But I tasted it when we were cooking in that kitchen a couple of weeks ago, and I just thought I was tasting honey with avocado meat in it. And
right.
I was, like, oh, well, so what? Roseanne says this is absolutely fascinating, and I think it is too. Thank you so much, Roseanne. Roseanne is top fan for 10 months. I love Roseanne. She's
That's great.
She's on it every day. Thanks, Roseanne. And she's an amazing artist. You should go check out her page. She just started painting in the last 3 years, and she's a miraculous painter. So it's from bee to bottle, and this is all about honey and the bees.
And some of the issues with bees, and the Honey Association gladly gives those to us, and we ship those with our honey shipments.
So let's talk about bees, because bees are almost an endangered species, and without bees, we, the human race, cannot continue to exist, because we get most of our fruits and vegetables from the bee population. They are our friends, right? Most food.
Right.
And so what's your feeling about all that?
Well, it's worrisome, but we have, the beekeepers, you have the beekeeper association, as well as many scientists working throughout the school districts, universities, throughout the world. This is a worldwide problem, not just, here in Southern California. It's a worldwide problem between diseases, and there's some things that they don't know why the bee just died.
Well, I'm being told, I don't know how accurate this is, it could be urban legend, sometimes you hear these things and you're not actually sure, but I've been told that the 5G system of cellular service is doing something to the nervous system of bees, and that's what is actually killing off the bee population right now.
That wouldn't be surprising me, because I heard some scary stuff about 5G, but I don't know.
Right. Meanwhile, we're holding it all to our ear and
right.
our
Just
brain.
Put it closer to your
to our
ear
brains.
and stuff.
Yeah. I know. I mean, what are you going to do? Here we are living in 2021, as if a virus isn't enough.
Right. Right.
Oh
exactly.
my God. Here we are, right? So here you have this grove, and so just to tell everybody, we just produced 3 to 4 or 5 live videos, which are now posted either right above this live video or right below it, where we walked the entire farm. We went down to where the babies were planted, baby avocado trees, where the Haas avocado trees. We walked the whole grove. We looked at the irrigation system. We did a whole walkthrough, and so I did that because I'm not here with a camera crew. I'm just here with Cynthia and myself, and I really didn't know how to do B-roll. I mean, there is no way to do B-roll for these live Facebooks, and so we did the best we could, which is posting ahead of time all of the videos. But one of the videos that we shot was off to the, I'm guessing, the west side of the property. Is that right? West side,
Where the small trees are?
Yes.
Yes, that's the west side.
All right, good for
There
me.
you go.
Hey. And you had 840 or
832.
832. I was off by 8. 832 avocado trees,
Yes.
right? That you and your family planted in a day and a quarter.
Right, we planted about 650, I believe, in one day.
Oh my gosh.
And I had my
Was it a
my
whole
own
family?
kids.
Was it a whole family thing?
Yes, I had my children, which are grown now. My nieces from my brother lives right down the road. He's only 500 feet away.
Okay.
So his girls came and helped. Yeah, there was about 12 of us.
And so did you have a big barbecue on day 2, or what did you do?
In-N-Out Burgers.
Oh!
In-N-Out Burgers for the crew. So
I
they were
was-
happy about that.
I was thinking there were stomping grapes at the end of all of that. Let me see. Stacy is here. Stacy Hackett. She says, helping. I'm sorry. The camera's just slightly a ways away from me, but it says helping the fruit and veggies grow. Thank you for your earth to help the earth. Thank you from the earth to help the earth. I guess something close to that. Thank you, Stacy, for the comment. I know Joe very much appreciates that. And you know, from Nanny Bubby's point of view here, my signature lines are grow, cook, gather, and this is just the biggest piece of grow. When a rancher like Joe is here working the earth, working the land, teaching us what he knows so that we can all help take some of the stress off the farms by doing our own victory gardens, growing in plants,
Right.
planters. It helps the earth take a moment to renew itself, helps the soil renew itself.
Well, people planting their own gardens is great, but I would think it helps them appreciate when they go to the grocery store that they would think where that lettuce head
does.
came from, or a
does.
jar of honey, or even an avocado.
Yes.
Now, in California, United States, most of our fruit comes from Mexico as far as the avocado is concerned.
Right.
So California produces 400 million pounds a year, which is most of it sent overseas, unfortunately, because we grow a superior product here in California.
So this is interesting to me. This will get me angry and frustrated, right? But California.
Don't get too angry.
Yeah, I know. I'm not pretty when I'm angry. Just ask my husband, who is watching. Thank you very much, my dear. We, California, California, are the biggest avocado producers in the world.
No. Biggest in the United States.
Biggest in the United States.
Not the biggest in the world. That would be Mexico.
That would be Mexico. But we import more from Mexico, and we export all of our avocados from California.
Well,
And who are we exporting to?
this is why. This is probably something you don't see at the store. These are quality, premier avocados. They taste better. Mm-hmm. And we get avocados from Mexico. So the Japanese pay top dollar for these avocados. So they go to Japan, they go to Europe, they go all over. Whoever pays, it's market. So whoever pays top dollar gets it. Now you will find some California avocados in the market, for a short.
Whole Foods.
Right. There's certain brands that will only go for California for the short season that we have. But I mean, that's just not what you see at the store. Quality fruit, and the quality just gets exported.
And this is the only fruit that actually does not ripen until it's off the tree. Is that correct?
I believe it's the only one in all the fruit species that doesn't ripen until you pick it.
So you pick it. Although tomatoes ripen off the vine when you pick them.
Well,
They will
no,
continue to ripen.
they will continue to ripen, but they're getting ripe. Obviously, when they're red,
Right.
you hear vine ripened.
Yes.
So,
Which mine were.
so like an avocado, which is interesting. So this fruit would be ready. The USDA tells us when we can pick this fruit legally. So this is what you would call about a 48 or an 8-ounce fruit. And we can start picking these in the middle of December. Now, we can't pick them any sooner because they won't have the oil content.
Oh.
Now, what's interesting is the avocado tree is one of the only fruit trees that I know of that you can just let this thing sit on that tree for several months. So I start picking in December for my online clients, and Labor Day is the last time I picked. Now see, there's a difference though. So what happens is it's not getting any more ripe on the tree, it's getting more oil content.
Oh.
So the fruit in December, January, maybe even in parts of February, be a little greeny. Is that right? Green tasting, maybe a little greener
Yeah.
tasting than say. It's not that it's bad. It just has a different flavor.
Yes,
where
it does.
as soon as you get to April, May, June, and July, they really get
But these
that
are-
oily content.
These are a little bit harder, so.
These were fresh picked today.
I see. Okay, and how long will it actually take for the, and are these Haas
Yes.
avocados? Okay, and how long will it take these to ripen?
Well, it seems like every year's different. I don't know why, but
Mm-hmm.
last year it was taking like 2 weeks for our avocados to ripen.
Mm-hmm.
This year it seems to be about a week right now.
Really?
And I don't know why. Later into the season we go, June, July, August, they're all going to be 4 to 7 days. They're going to be right.
So I find that those avocados that I buy, because I always seem to do guacamole during Super Bowl, so it's,
Right.
I don't notice it any other time. I mean, I buy them all year long. But I notice that every time I really want soft avocados for guacamole, that the avocados that I get around the Super Bowl January time,
Right.
they're very hard and they don't ripen. So my produce manager, here's a tip. I wonder if Joe would agree with this, but my produce manager at Whole Foods, Fernando, who I adore, he's taught me so much. He said if you take these avocados and you put them in a brown paper bag, which we've all heard, that's not news to
brown paper
anybody.
bag, right.
Yeah, but if you put bananas in with them, that
They emit a gas.
the gas, yes, from the bananas, and
From
the
the-
bananas will ripen the avocados.
Right. There's a
How
certain
about
gas,
that?
and I don't remember what that gas name
Hey,
is.
Beverly,
But that's actually what the packing houses do too.
they put them in with bananas.
No, they create that gas,
Oh.
but it'll be more of a chemical process.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's maybe why you would go to a Whole Foods, so your fruit, your fruit's not being gassed from at the wholesale level.
Right. And this is why, let's talk about farmers markets. So in Las Vegas, we don't have any farming going on in our general area.
Right.
We have one farm that is actually over the border. It's 65 miles from Las Vegas, and it's 60 miles in Nevada, and then 5 miles just over the California line.
Okay.
Desert Bloom Farms. And other than that, any farms that we did have in Las Vegas have actually turned over into cannabis farms.
Yep, they're getting at that too here.
Yes,
Yep, that's
yes.
a big thing right now.
So there's no real farmers market now. We do have a farmers market. I don't remember the name of what they actually call themselves at the top of my mind, but they own farms in the Fresno area. And they drive in every Wednesday morning
Wow.
full of, fruits
Different
and
produce,
yes,
right.
and eggs. And so they sell in the Las Vegas area Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and finish on Saturday at downtown Summerlin. And their stuff is fantastic, but he owns all the farmers markets. So that is coming in, but it's coming in from about 350 miles
Right.
away, out of Fresno. But when you go to farmers markets, I was always leery of them before I actually got into food and into growing myself, because I was like, how do I know? Everything else in the market is USDA this and USDA
Right.
that, and somebody can
You're
show up
putting
at
your trust in that farmer that's behind the counter there.
Yeah.
And so
How do you feel about that?
I think the majority of farmers are there to give you the best product they can. Now, it doesn't mean that people won't lie, because organic is the thing, and I would think people would lie about that to make the higher dollar value. So I'm not going to say that's not happening. But I know so many farmers, and they're just good people, and they're not the ones that I know that cheat. So
it was not a bee.
No bees
though.
yet.
No bee yet.
But the leafy vegetables are the worst ones you got to be concerned about. So you would want to rinse those well, even if they're organic or not.
Well, you know what? I use food grade. I always push this whenever I'm cooking. As all you know, I'm very big on food grade hydrogen peroxide.
I've heard
And
that.
unless I grow it in my own garden, then I just rinse it very well, get the bugs off or
Right.
the dust, because it's always very windy there. But anything that we buy at Whole Foods, organic or not organic, we spray down with food grade hydrogen peroxide. even the skin. So as an example, if I ordered these from you and you delivered, and in just a minute he's going to give the way that you can order all your avocados directly online from him. But I would spray down these skins with the food grade hydrogen peroxide, let it sit for just a minute, and then rinse it. And the reason that even on oranges, grapefruits, limes, lemons, avocados with the skins that I would spray it is because I don't know who's picked it.
Right.
I don't know whose hands it's touched. I don't know if it's fallen on the floor at the market, right? I don't know any of that, and so I can assure myself with just simple spray of the food grade hydrogen peroxide.
And it's inexpensive,
Yes.
and it's a good process. It's we rinse all our fruit, and so it's this nature that's on our fruit, and then we rinse them off real quick and give them a light scrub.
That's great. And what do you lightly scrub them with?
Just water.
Water.
Water, and actually, I do most of the scrubbing, so it's me.
And Denny.
And well, she does a lot of the packing. There's a lot more work in
right.
that. So she does the packing, but that's not a bad idea. The avocado is so hard, as opposed to, you mentioned citrus. A lot of those can absorb whatever's on them. Mm-hmm. That's probably not going to happen with an avocado, just because it's just
so you're saying that what's on the skin of a citrus fruit actually gets absorbed into the oh gosh.
Yes, it's soft, you know.
Yeah.
So
you want to tell everybody how to, let's say hello to Deanna Grant. Thanks for being here with Joe and me, Joe Rossi.
That's my sister-in-law.
That's your sister. I had a feeling that she was related to you because she's new to me on here. Thanks for being here. How much are you enjoying? He's great on camera, isn't he? I bet you Denny would be too, but she won't come and get online. Are you going to come say hi? Yeah? Okay. Here comes Denny. There we go. She's going to walk this way. Come say hi to Denny. So if you order online, Denny will be there she is. Hey, Denny. She's going to be packing everything up in these lovely boxes. I don't want these. Let's hold these up so everybody can see it. Hey, Cynthia, why don't you come over here and say hello, too? There we go. This is the whole crew. We're all here today.
We are.
There we go. All right. Say hello to Cynthia from Full House Fallbrook, who brought me here and set me up with Joe and Denny, and I'm so grateful that she did. So, guys, how do they find you, and how do they order directly from you?
Well, we're on Instagram and Facebook. As Rossi Ranch Avocados.
Is that right, Denny?
That's right.
Okay, Rossi,
So
I'm just checking with the boss over here.
That's our logo. It's pretty much on everything.
Rossi.
Whether it's our website, which is at rossiranch.com. No avocados, it's rossiranch.com.
Right.
Or Rossi Ranch Avocados. You'll find us either on Instagram and or Facebook. And
hey, Mary McConville, I'm so happy to see you. Sorry, that one belongs to me.
no worries.
Hey, Mary, so happy to have you here. Go ahead.
But you don't order on Instagram. That's just that and Facebook are more just kind of getting to know our family, getting to know us. I teach a little bit about avocados. Little Joe, my grandson, always seems to get in the videos. He's just so damn cute, so I have to put him in videos.
Hey, you should see my granddaughter.
I got one of those too. She's really cute.
I've got a grandson too, but he's just starting to get cute. I mean, he's always been cute, but he's just starting. You know, he just turned 1, so you know.
Oh yeah.
You watch him
now
just kind of struggle along, and now the fun begins.
Now the fun begins.
He's starting to walk.
But if you go to rossiranch.com, we have a website. We have several packages, whether it's just avocados, 6-pack or a 12-pack. This is our green and gold packages, we call it, where you
Avocado and honey.
You get honey, and you can choose what honey you want in the order selection. You get 4 avocados, or you can get all 3 different flavors from us.
Oh. And you know what? I want to just ask you one thing, because Cynthia and I have talked about this, and there's either an urban legend or a truth. You tell me if it's truth. But if you suffer,
I'll try.
Okay, if you suffer from allergies, you should definitely consume the honey within 50 miles of where you live, because that honey has the pollen. It's like a vaccination.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of studies on it, but I hear it from tons of people.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm taking it right now myself for
Your
my
own
hay
honey.
fever
Yeah.
and
Does it help?
yes, it not sometimes 100% no, but it does help.
Okay.
I
Well,
hate
our
taking
problem-
medication. So.
I know, me too. Our problem in Vegas is where are we getting honey within 50 miles of us? So if anybody knows, type it up in the chat here so that those of us who do live in Vegas can find it. If you live in California, it's not a problem, but boy,
I've heard just any honey also. So I've heard both.
right.
And so I have people who order honey, all over, and that's what they claim. Even though it's my honey and they live in Northern California, or we have a customer in Michigan, and we might sell bee pollen. You can actually buy pollen itself
Oh, I
and
know.
eat it like
Yeah.
with a spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's pretty earthy,
You like
but
the taste?
I have a
It's
lady
different.
that
Yeah.
just can't wait for me to sell it up in Northern California because she believes that it even helps her.
Yeah.
Actually, it was her husband with his allergies, even
That's
though it's
awesome.
not within 50 miles. So
We'll see.
you have to see on that.
We'll see. So, Nanny Bubby is my honey. Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Somebody's on my page saying that I am their honey. So I think my husband is actually on my page. That's him on my page. Okay, you're on the wrong page, honey, but that's okay.
You're still
All right. So, you know what you don't know is I have this line that I end with that I would ask you to say with me, and
Sure.
it's "Spread love like butter." Have you seen that line? When
I
you
did
went?
see it.
On
Did
your
you see
profile, I
that?
did see
you
that.
see it? Okay, Cynthia. So we're getting ready to say goodbye. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Go to RossiRanch.com or
Yep.
Rossi. Sorry, I was choking on it. It was making me so emotional. Rossi Ranch Avocados on Instagram or Facebook, and order from
Please
them,
do.
and yes, and do this. And so we, on the count of three, are going to say to you, 1, 2, 3, go out and
Spread love like butter.
Oh, that's great. That sounded so good to me. I hope you guys said it too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Okay, here I come to shut it off. Bye, everybody.